Hello and welcome to Handbuilt. Today we're going to do some wet blasting on the 260.
Oh no, Rusty, piece of shit. Got every intention.
So I've got almost a full tub of dry sand, and I'm going to see how far we get. I'm going to blast the inner shell and outer skin of the door, and if I've got enough left after that, I'll do some on the hatch. Now this stuff here is a rust inhibitor, so it doesn't flash rust. So you squirt that on, and you're supposed to have about 72 hours or something like that before you can before you have to put primer on it. So yeah, I'll spray some of that on. So pretty much all I got done was the inside edge of the door. I think I'm going to have to remove the paint manually because it's just going to use way too much sand, and yeah, it struggles a bit. It's not a professional wet blasting outfit, it's just for hobby use, so it's good, but it's good for removing rust where you don't need it, but I wouldn't recommend it for stripping paint off a whole car. That'd take you forever. Could do it, but yeah, it'd take way too long. Now I think I'm going to have to fix that. I reckon, yeah, not real happy with that. So I'm going to have to make up a new section to put in here. I'm going to take it right around to roughly there, because yeah, it's got rusty holes there. So that's what I'm going to do now. Once I've done that, then I'm going to take all the paint off the outside of the door so I can work on getting that a bit flatter before I put it back on. So hopefully I should get that done all this week. Let's get into it. There you go, there's the basic shape. I know I worked pretty quick, but you might have noticed that I did that all with a hammer and dolly. what I had to do is stretch it in here to get this shape to conform around through here, which is the same as that. It's hard to see it on that because of the rust, but that is that shape there. So just going to trim it up and tidy it up a bit more before I actually weld it in. I'd love to put it in my air plenisher, but the neighbours would hate me this time of night if I turn that on. So yeah, I think that'll do for tonight. I'm going to bed. That's a new corner all welded in. Just needs a little bit of filler now just to hide the welds, just a little tiny skim, nothing major. But let's turn it over. I'm not concerned about grinding down the welds on the inside because that's only going to make the metal thin and you lose strength, so there's no point being a hero and taking any more metal out than what you need to. No one's going to see it in there. It's going to be covered in tar anyway, and rust preventative cavity wax or whatever. So next step is I'm going to take the paint off this door and remove all the dents. So I have to get the handle out and get onto it. So I started taking the paint off with the seaweed wheel on the angle grinder. Paint's on there way too good. So I decided I'm going to go the messy way and use paint stripper. So what you got to do here is you got to score up the paint. That gives the paint stripper a chance to get underneath the paint and lift it from underneath. I just used the corner of a wood chisel. It's nice and sharp. Just to score it down to the metal. You don't want to gouge into the metal or anything, but yeah, if you can, make sure you at least get down to the metal so it can get underneath all the coats and just lift it up from underneath. Ideal thing is to, after you put the coat of paint stripper on, is to put plastic over the top. Now that will seal it in so it can't dry out and all the chemicals go down instead of evaporating up into the air. I don't have any plastic anywhere to do that, so I'm just going to do it by hand, and I'll just keep mixing it around, make sure it gets in there. So let's do that. I'm going to put you down somewhere, and then we'll do it. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to buy gloves, so you really should wear gloves and all the proper safety stuff, so don't do what I do. I'm a naughty boy. Okay. paint's off. Got a bit ahead of myself, and I did a bit of metal shrinking on this part here. I'm sure there'll be more metal shrinking to come, so I'll show you then, but it's getting towards the end of Sunday, and I just wanted to get it done and out of the way. So I'm going to tip this door the other way around, and I'm going to put some rust guard around the seams and let that dry, and the same on the actual door shell. And then I can put the skin back on the door shell, and that door's almost done. I'm going to play around with this for a little bit longer. I'm going to get it so there's just a tiny skim of filler, so that it's not too thick on the door. Much less chance of it cracking. But for tonight, I think that'll do. I'll catch you next round when I'm not sure what I'm doing, so it'll be a surprise to me as well as you. So catch you later.
Oh, no, rusty piece of shit.